We're good.
Welcome to the final preseason episode of the Dynasty Pulse right here on Fantasy Sports Advice Network. I am bigz. You can find us on the Undroppables Fantasy Sports Advice Network and also terrestrial radio 101.5 Talk in West Tennessee. This is the finest collection of knowers of ball in the industry. There's stiff competition out there, but we're stiffer. Hey, Schultzy, start the show. Welcome back once again to the Dynasty Pulse. We are full staff today. Grindberg's here, Schultzy's here, Coach Retzlaff is here, and Chev GPT, the AI wizard, is here. Big news, I'm now being followed on Blue Sky by Chiton, the Japanese mascot thing. We are here today to talk about some of our flag plants. We are on the precipice of the 2025 NFL season. The first game is about a week away next Thursday in Brazil, the Chiefs and the Chargers. That kicks everything off. We have a ton of content scheduled on Fantasy Sports Advice Network. The Dynasty Pulse will continue at its current pace. We also will have our waiver wire show on Tuesday, Wednesday. We also will be hosting Points After Thursday live on FSAN, and that'll be our post Thursday night game. We will have our starts and sit show. We will also have breakfast with bigz on Sunday mornings at 8:30 maybe. I heard today. That'll be start sits on Sunday morning. So a ton of stuff. Going to be a big season, and drafts are still going on. I'm in like 5 live drafts right now. Have another couple scheduled this weekend and stuff. So we're here to help. We're gonna give you some flag plant names of guys to take in your drafts over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one. You know, we've been talking about tiers for a couple of weeks. We had a bunch of tiers, tiered our tight ends last week. We had our wide receivers, running backs, and quarterbacks. I thought those shows were a lot of fun. We had some good Discord in that, and I think we're going to have some good ones here too. I think there's some flag plants here that are really going to give our viewers an edge, no matter what they're talking about. I mean, a lot of us have already talked about these guys right away throughout this offseason, and it's nothing familiar, but these are really bold takes, and I'm excited to see where everybody's at on this. Coach, how you doing tonight?
Man, doing great. Happy to be here and excited for these players. I like the players that I have that are listed, but I'm excited in seeing the show sheet, what you guys have cooking. So it's all sizzle at this point of the season, and we're about to enjoy something real. It's like we've been reading a book, and we're on to the next book. It's beautiful.
Yeah, all sizzle, no drizzle.
There you go. Now, Chev, you've been welcome back. Both you and Coach have been away for a couple of weeks, but it's awesome to have you two back. The 5 of us, we're ready to get into this season. And Chev GPT, what's going on, man?
Oh, you know, I'm just we're closer and closer to just being validated on all of the opinions and things that we've been right or wrong about for months on end. So I'm glad to be at the end of this cycle to start a new cycle of arguing about why I'm right and why I'm not right. So great to be here. I'm glad to be back. Super excited that there's football, American tackle football, this coming Thursday. That this could be one of the biggest shootouts of the year. I don't know if you guys, when this airs, you will know, you'll see that Micah Parsons, the Dallas Cowboys' only hope on defense, has been traded, and now the Cowboys are now the Bengals of the NFC.
They were already the Bengals before that. When you look at everything that was going down, the Pickens and T. Higgins similarities. You got CeeDee Lamb. on the other end and Jamar Chase, and two quarterbacks that can sling the ball with accuracy downfield. I love what I see. Now you got two defenses that are going to be Swiss cheese. It's just the AFC and the NFC going at it, and I love this for fantasy football in general. I think these George Pickens shares and these Dak Prescott shares that, you know, people got as values are going to really come together now and really pay off for fantasy managers.
I got offered a first for my George Pickens in my home league, which I can only lose that trade because I took him at the 101. That was a meme. Bill Barnwell tweeted earlier, over the last 4 years, the Cowboys are the league's best defense with Micah Parsons on the field by EPA per play. Across a 1,039 play sample, they're the league's second worst defense over that same stretch by EPA per play when Parsons isn't on the field. They do not have him to kick around anymore, and he is taking that talent to Green Bay. Watch out. If you play in leagues that have defenses, you better be on the waiver wire already if you haven't already gotten Green Bay, because Micah Parsons is going to make them the best defense.
All right. Schultzy, what's going on with you, man? You got your arms crossed. There it is. What's up, dudes?
The peace sign. What's up?
Yeah, were you ready to rock, boys and girls?
We are ready.
Let's do this. All right, let's get into some of our flag plants for this season. You know, everybody's got some. I'm excited to hear the juice. And I think, bigz, you're going to start us off tonight, right?
Is that right?
No, it isn't. It is Schultzy. You're up. I can't read.
And this one's kind of a curveball considering our last show.
First of all, my flag plant is going to be Neil Armstrong, 1969.
Nice.
Very famous flag plant on the moon. Am I right? Yeah. So I got to be honest here. I saw the flag plant. I didn't read the little paragraph before it, and I said to myself, flag plants don't have to be good.
Correct.
A bad flag plant. So here I am providing a bad flag plant.
Yes.
It's on me, fam.
You didn't read the assignment, but
I didn't fully read the assignment, but we're here. We are here, and we're doing it anyways. So take it for what you will. And I got Bryce Young as my flag plant. And my flag plant is that this guy's just really not very good in the breakout that everybody wants to happen. It ain't happening. And I think the hype, I can't wait to hear from Chev already.
Me too. It's building up. I can't wait till it explodes.
The hype we're getting here is based on a 6-game stretch that he ended 24 on that I just don't think is who Bryce Young is as a quarterback. He was really lifted up here by 5 rushing touchdowns over the 6-game stretch. And this is coming from a guy who has 6 in his whole career. So before this 24 ending stretch, he had 1 rushing touchdown. So this is really out of character. I think this is a huge outlier situation. It's just not who Bryce Young is as a quarterback. And I don't think you can count on a flurry of rushing touchdowns moving forward here. And in that stretch of games, people love to point out here as why he's going to take a step. We've got games of 56% completion percentage, 55% completion percentage, 53.5%. Like for a guy who we're all pegging to take a huge step forward and become like, you know, a next level guy, like those are horrible numbers for completion percentage, especially when we're using this as part of our sample as to why he's going to progress for even further. He's a career 60% passer with 1 300-yard passing game in his career. He's got 2 games in his career with 3 touchdowns passing or more. 34th in the league in clean pocket completion percentage, 41st in the league in catchable target rate. I just don't think Bryce Young's a very good quarterback. I'm totally here for Tedero and McMillan showing out. I think we can get one wide receiver coming out of this offense who's going to be very productive, like New York last year in Malik Neighbors. But man, you can't sell me on Bryce Young. I think we've seen what we've seen. The proof is in the pudding. We are predicting a breakout here based entirely off of projection, not production.
This is perfect because we had Chev's initial reaction early in this. His eyes were bright, and it so happens that he gets to comment on this pick. So I'm excited to hear what Chev has to offer on Bryce Young, and if maybe Schultzy shifted his opinion at all, on this.
Absolutely not. I have been a Bama Bryce guy since before it was cool to be a Bama Bryce guy. So we're talking about the stretch that Schultzy's referring to is weeks 8 to 18. Bryce Young averaged 20.8 fantasy points per game, and there's 5 rushing touchdowns in there. So let's just take those out, and it comes out to about 17. It'll come out to about 17 fantasy points per game. And now we've gone and gotten him the big pineapple, Teteroa McMillan, as his primary option. Jalen Coker, my guy, Jalen Coker, is going to be manning the slot now that Adam Thielen's no longer there. They had one of the best offensive line in run block success rate and pass block success rate. They've got 2 of the best guards in football, along with Taylor Moton, who they just extended. Everything's set up, much like Trevor Lawrence. It's almost too big for him to fail. And we have Dave Canales, who's been a quarterback whisperer, and it just so happened that Bryce's growth happened to take place under Dave Canales last year. If we're going to reference anything from his rookie year, then I am by law required to reference everything that happened with Trevor Lawrence's rookie year. So if we're going to hold him accountable.
I'm going to stop you there because those are not relatable at all.
Yeah, they're horrendous. So anyway, I personally am a believer that Bryce can operate in this offense because we can't hold him accountable for a 32 or 33-year-old Adam Thielen and Jonathan Mingo being his primary options, with sprinkling in a touch or two of Tommy Trimble, with Doug Peterson as his offense or the offensive genius behind all of this. We just saw how bad that went for Trevor Lawrence over year. So now he gets Dave Canales, and it starts off really poorly because he's shell-shocked. It's a very, very poor 19-game sample. But then we started to see the traits that made him the number 1 overall pick. And I can't get past the fact that, once I've seen you do the things that I've seen you do previously, you're going to go back to doing the things that you did when things were horrible. And you've got an elite offensive line. You've got a workhorse running back. You've got what we think is an alpha wide receiver in Teteroa McMillan. You got another first-round pick in Xavier Legette, who gets to be more of a gadget type of role. You got Jalen Coker in the slot. It's all set up for him to be successful. I didn't even mention Jatavian Sanders. So I'm in the complete opposite quarter on this. I totally understand why people would want to fade Bryce Young because of the touchdown, but I think he's a good real-life quarterback, and I'm fine with him. And I can get him as my QB3 a lot of the times in startups. So yeah, I'm fine because whenever I have to put him in my lineup, I'm going ham with Bryce Young.
Yeah, Coach.
Hey, question to Schultzy. Michael Penix, are you in or out on Michael Penix?
Oh, I'm more in on Penix than I am Bryce Young for sure. I know
I'm more in on Michael Penix. That wasn't the question, though.
Yeah.
Right, but hold on. This is where
we're going back to back right now, essentially.
Yes, yep. They go back to back, and it's funny enough. You have Drake London, and you just have the mimicry that the NFL is of Teteroa McMillan. 10 to 12 targets. It could be a little more junk volume versus the quality that Penix versus London will get with their connection. But I can see the alignment for Bryce Young. I'm just seeing Bryce Young ranked 22. I think he's just going to be a decent, good facilitator of the football. We may not see ceiling, but we're going to see very good out of it. And as Chev mentioned, all the weapons, I think, can lift that boat. We get a little bit of Bama Bryce. We've seen what he can do. but I don't think he ever matriculates up to like top 12 status, but I think he gives you 18 to 12. And there's some excitement there to be had. And when you're getting him so much late round, it can be valuable. So I don't mind, though, Schultzy taking that stand, because wouldn't you venture to say, Schultzy, you're just out on him hitting some mass ceiling where people think, hey, they're going to catch lightning in a bottle and just have asymmetrical upside?
Correct. Like, I'm still, give me the under on the 18 and a half, or I guess the over, because the number's higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. You say you think he can pocket in a high 2 QB, high QB2 range?
No, I'm saying ranked higher, or like, ranked QB 19 or lower.
Oh, okay.
So
you're fair. So he's gonna park where he is at ADP. He's gonna land at ADP 22 QB, somewhere in there. You think that wouldn't shock you?
Yeah, I mean, to me, like, that's probably ceiling with him. I'm just out on him as a quarterback, and yeah, I mentioned the rushing stuff. That's a big deal, but like, everything Chev said, no, not everything, but most of what Chev said has everything to do with they're non-Bryce Young factors. So if I don't think Bryce Young is very good and he's not that guy, like, it doesn't matter what non-Bryce Young things happen. Like, he still stinks. So, and that's, that's kind of where I'm at.
And Chev is on the other end, where he's seen what Bryce Young has done at Alabama, and he's seen what that 6-game stretch it has gotten. And at this point, I mean, his ADP is like, okay, I'm not even like, I'm okay with where he's at this stage, or like quarterback 22, 23 in a dynasty. That's okay as my second quarterback. And if he does hit those, QB2 mid quarterback 2 range, then you're gaining. I'm not up for like a huge breakout where he's going to crank into the top 12. I'm not sure I've seen anybody predict that, but yeah, I mean, he's going where he's going. I'm okay with where he's at, and I think he's going to do better than, I think he's going to outperform QB 22 this year. Absolutely, for me anyway.
Well, this is just a good lesson that as we're looking it's all a plan until you get punched in the mouth. You see all the quarterbacks on from Josh Allen 1 all the way down through Kyler Murray, Bo Nix. You have bullish cases for Dak Prescott, Drake Maye, who we love some Drake Maye. But you just go on and run down, and I pointed out to Penix right next to Bryce Young. Just behind Bryce Young is Cam Ward. We'll think positively about all these quarterbacks, and there is going to be a bearish setup, a bearish layout at some point. So in a show where we are going to be mainly bullish because that is the type of flag plant that Grindberg designed, it is refreshing, though, to hear somebody go against the waters, whatever the result may be, because there's going to be a binary outcome, one or the other. And you got to hear some kind of bearishness. So it is kind of nice to hear, refreshing, even if I want Bryce Young to do well, to hear that bearish case, because every single year we come back to the board and we realize, okay, these players didn't hit. Why? Dante Johnson. So, all right, keep going.
All right. The dynasty implication with this is, if you're in a situation where Schultzy is in a startup draft, he's going to be taking Bryce Young a little bit later than probably Chev would. If Schultzy has him on a roster, maybe try and find somebody with as much enthusiasm as Chev and get a good deal for him. And if you're Chev and you don't have him on your roster, find somebody who will sell him to you for a good value. Also, Schultzy, I think Louis Armstrong would be very proud of your flag plant.
There it is. I want to get into one of Chev's tops, flag plants. I think I know, but I want to hear it from his voice.
I appreciate the floor, Grindberg. Listen, it's Chase Brown. I'm not gonna sit here and waste any of you guys' time trying to convince you why you need to take Chase Brown. But if that's what you came here for, I guess I could give you a reason as to why I'm so excited about Chase Brown. So you have an elite offense that's going to score a lot of points, and you have also a coach that uses just one running back. They just They just take one guy and they're like, hey, man, we trust you. We just want you. Hey, we just want you out here. We got to have you. We got to have you out there doing stuff for the team. So, and that resulted in Chase Brown putting up, 54 receptions, 990 yards rushing from weeks 8 to 18. He was the RB4, or weeks 9 to 18. He was the RB4, 20.6 fantasy points a game. On top of that, he handled 83% of their carries inside the 5-yard line. And he was top 5 at the position in routes run for the whole season, not just from that stretch. So they have him out there. He's going to catch passes. In that same stretch that I referenced from weeks 9 to 18, only Devon Achane had a higher team yards, team percentage, target share wise at the running back position than Chase Brown. So he's catching passes in an elite offense, and he gets all of the carries inside the 5-yard line. What is there not to like? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills when people tell me they don't like Chase Brown because they're like, well, the offensive line sucks. Well, the offensive line sucked last year, and he got 20.6 points a game. So that's me. That's where I'm at. Chase Brown. Tell me why I'm wrong, Grindberg.
I can't because I'm on the same train as you. I mean, I was on him last year, just like you. He was part of, if you look back on my receipts last year, I was very much on the Chase Brown train. I've got a lot of exposure of him in Dynasty, and I just see this opportunity for him. Once again, all the dominoes fell in his favor this offseason. They didn't do anything spectacular to upgrade their defense whatsoever. So the Bengals are going to be in for a lot of shootouts. Like you mentioned, he's they're a one running back type offense, and they brought in Taj Brooks, who we're really excited about here, but he's almost like a Chase Brown clone. So unless he can unless Chase Brown gets injured, I don't see a path for him this year. Essentially, more of like a complimentary piece, taking him off when things when he needs a rest. So I love this call. He's definitely got a solidified role for this year and potentially next. And for running backs, that is a window that I'm buying every single time. And that elite offense with the upside and the amount of scoring upside we talked about the Cowboys and Bengals earlier. I love this call there, Chev, and I'm all on the Chase Brown chain. And anybody else that is against the Chase Brown love?
Hey, I got a disrupting question, which I think might run out the entirety of the show. How about Chase Brown versus Bucky Irvin?
I'm a Chase Brown guy. I see the Bucks having a little bit harder time repeating what they did last year as far as their offense goes. I think they're going to score less points. I had Baker Mayfield as a fade this year as far as one of the busts at his ADP. So I don't see them being as prolific as they were last year, and I just see the upside there. And he's going to split some carries too with Rachaad White, and I just don't see that split happening in favor of Chase Brown at this stage. So unless an injury happens, I think Chase Brown is a locked-in top 7 running back this year.
My Grindberg, how the turntables.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about JT? Jonathan Taylor is ranked 2 running backs behind Chase Brown. Do we think that's jumping the shark for Chase Brown versus JT, or is that absolutely fair?
I have Chase Brown ahead of JT.
I've got JT ahead of Chase Brown this year for sure. Just based off of this year.
Startups, yeah. Chase goes ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this year. I mean, Chase Brown's a year younger. I have Chase Brown in redraft ahead of JT, but in Dynasty, I would take JT.
Now with Chase Brown, one point that you did make, Chev, you're talking about like how good the Bengals are with him, how good that running back room can be. I just kind of see, we talked about the similarities between the Cowboys and the Bengals, and it's funny enough, the Bengals are the Bengals,
right?
To the Cowboys with just a souped up, awesome running back. So the running back room is a mess for the Cowboys. There's going to be better run out maybe for what Dak Prescott can do just till his arm falls off. But the beauty is the Bengals have that advantage where it's run back city, but hey, you're getting quite possibly a top 5 running back in 2025, Chase Brown.
Yes.
Javonte's
100%.
going to blow some minds this year.
Him and his .07 missed tackles forced per attempt.
Correct.
Correct.
They're just gonna be like, are they just gonna have like people Thanos snapping in front of him?
I didn't say it was going to be like you're the one filling in the blanks. I just said he was going to blow some minds.
In one way or the other. One way or the other.
It's like when I say I'd stab a baby for something. I was talking about a stuffed animal of a baby shark. You're the one that made it bad.
All right. Okay, let's move on. Let's get another flag plant. We're getting some good Discord here, and I guess it's my turn. So I'm going to start with my biggest one, I think, and I'll move on from there if we have time for more. So which one do I want to go with? Let's do it. All right, let's go with Drake London because I've been talking about him pretty much all off season as a guy that I have even drafted ahead of guys like Brian Thomas Jr., Nico Collins, Puka Nakua, Amon-Ra St. Brown. I've drafted ahead of them in startups this offseason. So that's how high I am on Drake London, being a guy that by this time next year is going to be in the first round of Dynasty startups because of how prolific this season is going to go for him. So this is my flag plant is I think that Drake London is going to have a top 5 season this year because of a lot of metrics that ended last year. One of the biggest things that I saw last year was, a new modernized Ram style scheme. And the targets came back. The slot usage, it exploded. And for the first time, we got to see the real wide receiver one in Atlanta and what it could look like. It was dominant. And the ceiling, it just is going to get higher because Michael Penix Jr., we saw what he did in those 3-game span there with Drake London. Over 37% target share over the last 3 games. And it looks like that's going to start this season very similarly with Darnell Mooney being banged up. So I think the wheels are going to be up. He did finish last year with 27% target share, 4th among all wide receivers. And he was a slot super weapon. He's got everything that we're looking for in a modern wide receiver that can do things downfield, but also work in the slot, similar to how Jamar Chase got his Triple Crown. I'm looking at a similar usage here for Drake London. He's tall. He can get the contested catches. He's a red zone threat. And when you bring in a guy that hyper targets a wide receiver, and not to mention his 2.57 yards per route run and his 33% target rate from the slot is just some incredible stuff, and the chemistry there is just undeniable, and I'm looking for this to be a huge season for Drake London in 2025. Biggs, what do you got to say about that?
No, I am totally in agreement. Drake London is a huge buy. I'm wondering, you didn't do the other guy. Are we only going to one?
No, we can do. We're going to start with our tops, and if we have time to get into our second guys, we will.
Got it.
Yeah. That seems a little unfair since I let off.
No, you guys are top flag. You wanted
opposite of.
If you weren't so controversial with your snowball, if you would have read the show sheet, we wouldn't be in this conversation right now, Schultzy. So your 50 minutes of fame, because that's what it took up of our clock, was about Bryce Young. So let some others talk here.
And I don't even like the guy.
Drake London finishing around wide receiver 5 last year. It's a no-brainer. The fact that they brought in Michael Penix and revamped the offense and moved on from the Arthur Smith era where he just doesn't throw the ball enough. Drake London is a top 10 guy, period. And yeah, so you're going to pay for him.
Yep. A combinatorial rostership getting Drake London in the second round paired with any mixed match of first round players is going to be something that we look back on and we're like, oh crap, like getting Drake London, that combo, because you have more first round talent players than the 12 slots by simple math that are there this year. That's the jam on fantasy football this year, where round 2 could look a lot like round 1 in other years. It's loaded. Just look at Chase Brown, Jonathan Taylor, Drake London, Devon Achane, Lab McConkey. You have all these players who can fit round 2. Sometimes I'm seeing Brian Thomas Jr. go at the 13. So what are we doing? It is wild what you're going to be able to look back on and see. Drake London and Malik Neighbors, Drake London and Jahmyr Gibbs, Drake London, Puka Nacua. Just put any kind of slice in there. The fact that you're able to, as Grindberg had alluded to, a first-round pick next year, you're getting him in round 2, and it's just going to be filthy, the combination that you have of players where it's like, hey, Drake London, and it's just like a cheat code of we've jammed a first-round player. There it is in the second round. You scoop them up like Pac-Man, and you're gold.
Mm-hmm. And earlier this offseason, honestly, and when startups were happening in April and in May, Drake London was going, in the top of the 3rd in some of these startups. So now when we look at where he could be, it's an exciting thing for me. And, my as Theo would say, my Drake London bags are packed, and I've got a lot of shares of him. So let's continue on. bigz, who's one of your biggest flag plants of this year? I'm excited to hear who you're going to talk about specifically.
Well, both of these drums I've been beating the crap out of for quite a while, especially this one. Not quite as long as my second take, but I love Dante Thornton so much. 4th rounder out of Tennessee. He was maligned for his route running. If you listen to the boys on Reception Perception, they talked about the fact that he ran 40% of his routes at Tennessee in 2024 were comeback routes. But as Dante Thornton put it in an interview that I saw, he's been running the whole route tree since high school. You go back and you watch the Oregon film, he was running a complete route tree. They just didn't have it at Tennessee. You can see, kind of an analog in Cedric Tillman in that he came out limited, but presented a little bit more. Brian Thomas Jr. is the other analog. That's exactly how we missed on Brian Thomas Jr. last year, was thinking that his route ability was limited to what he did at LSU. And in fact, he hit the Jaguars running and ran all over the field. So Dante Thornton is that dude. 4th round pick, comes into Raiders camp after OTAs. He's immediately running with the ones. He is their ex-receiver, and they got him in the 4th round. They drafted Jack Besh 2 rounds higher, and he's not ready for the NFL. He's not ready to take over for Jacoby Myers just yet. But Dante Thornton immediately has a connection with Geno Smith, and he may have kind of a Jameson Williams type career arc where he's a deep threat, and it's going to take him a while to get it. But this is a kid that I was taking in the 4th round of my rookie drafts through the spring and into the summer. And now he just got taken in the 9th in a redraft league, a couple spots ahead of where I was going to take him. And I had to take Cedric Tillman in that place. But I mean, going from a 4th rounder in rookie drafts to being in the top 10 rounds in a redraft, that's some huge steam, and I'm here for it. You want a guy who has 4.3 speed and a 6.5 frame, 20 pounds short of where Megatron was in his playing days, but you give him a couple years, and he's going to put that weight on with an NFL eating program and everything. 4.3 speed. He's going to take the top off the defense. And Geno Smith is a top 3 deep ball passer in the NFL. So those two guys are going to hook up quite often. You got to account for Brock Bowers. You got to account for Jacoby Myers. You got to account for Ashton Genty. And the next thing you know, Dante Thornton is behind you. And I love him.
Yeah, there's only 3 wide receivers before you comment there, Coach, that are 6'4" or taller and ran a 4.35 at the combine, and that's Calvin Johnson and DK Metcalf, and you include Deontay Thornton into that mixture. So
Dante, not Deontay.
Dante, sorry. So I mean, he could be a guy that we really enjoy here. Coach, go ahead.
This is the beauty of us going way back to January when the calendar cleared and we hit rookie talk. We're talking about round 3, 4, and 5 in your rookie draft players. And then players who have been parked round 14 and beyond, 15 and beyond, deep cuts, deep in your dynasty startups, beyond into round the early 20s. If you go a 30 round startup up to round 25, these players, if you are just paying attention to them, they matriculate up. They may hit a cap ceiling at a certain point, like Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt may really only end up capping up at like round 12 payoff, even though he's spiking way up the board. But you got him back in round 18 and round 20 months ago. This is just a value right here with Dante Thornton. And the cool thing about watching him too is in preseason, I can't remember what quarterback it was. It wasn't Geno Smith. Somebody's laying up a deep ball, and I'm watching it, and it's just a deep ball launched interception. But you know who it was? Intended for? Thornton. And people who pay attention, who understand, like this guy is cooking, this guy is burning all the time. Geno Smith is hitting him up all the time in practices. This is a constant theme. And we hear that Jakobi Meyers may not like the tempo of what's going on the offense. It's not necessarily, is it contract related or is it stylistically related to what the Raiders have been doing? And Jakobi Meyers, while he may want money, everybody wants money. He may see that the fit for him, the gloves aren't fitting like they should. And part of that is for the fact that Thornton is coming on big time. And I think you just have to follow the drumbeat. You had said, and this is another thing, you got sniped. This is probably one of the hardest things to deal with in fantasy football is you're sharp on players. And then, everything runs up, the price runs up, and you start getting sniped. And you have to go and retrieve and find a new sleeper or a new gem or some kind of value in that pocket of the draft. So maybe right now it's like Alec Manor, who's going still a little bit later. You have to go back to the well, and all those players you were picking apart late, it becomes a lot less crowded and it narrows down. One pocket of the draft between 8 and 12 round is Jaden Higgins. All these players were around him, and Emeka Ibuka, the train took off. Josh Downs, the train took off. There's all these players that just keep soaring up boards. And it's just nice that when you get the price early on, you're invested. It's just a tribute to grinding these rookie drafts on through, because what you've seen is from the beginning to now, these players are all drastically, mostly you're reaping rewards and benefits of that. So great call on you, bigz. I know you were high on Thornton from the jump. So now you're seeing the appreciation on that. So
one of the coolest things was in the preseason game against the Cardinals last week. The week before, Pete Carroll was in a press conference and they talked to him about the Geno Smith Dante Thornton relationship, and he was saying they're still feeling out how it's going to be the easiest for Geno Smith to get the ball into Thornton's hands, whether that's going to be on jump balls or boundary balls or back shoulders. And he mentioned those different ways of catching the ball. And in that Arizona game, Thornton caught a touchdown on the boundary with a back shoulder that was like beautiful. He danced and got his feet in. It was like, okay, we know at that point, this kid can do everything. He can do everything, and he's going to be beating cornerbacks left and right. You're going to have a safety to bracket him. It's going to open up the offense. It's going to make everybody else better. He's just the perfect piece, and he was a 4th rounder in the NFL draft.
Dude, it was a beautiful ball. It was a beautiful catch. The ball placement was perfect. He just plucked it. These guys are going to be good.
Yeah, the thing is to tell somebody that you just beat, you're too small, and everybody's smaller than Dante Thornton.
All right, Coach, let's get into your biggest flag plant so far this season here.
Hey, Drake Maye is going to catch up to Jalen Hurts and Joe Burrow. He's going to be in their tier next year and possibly fight for that upper top 3 tier of Lamar, Allen, and Jaden Daniels. I think comfortably he could end up QB4 right at the back of that tier and usurping Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts, or at least matching in that tier 2. I see the rushing ability. I was saying on the show a couple of weeks ago, 400 to 500 yards conservatively. I actually think we can get 700 to 800 yards rushing for Drake Maye. I think you can push close to 10 touchdown rushes, and you can't helmet scout anymore on the New England Patriots, but that's a good advantage for us. And hey, the train has left the station on Travion Henderson. That cat's out of the bag, but by all means, draft Patriots players who are tied to Drake Maye. And if you are non-committal on those players. Go out and just make sure you're getting Drake Maye. You've been able to get him so late. He's going as QB 13 right now in the 111, so past the hundreds picked. We're talking about double-digit rounds for Drake Maye. Guys who are ahead of him right now, who I see him usurping, Justin Fields. I'm high on Dak Prescott, so I'm just going to call that a push. Brock Purdy, he could absolutely usurp. Kyler Murray. Bo Nix, I'll call a push. I'll call it even. Right now I got to give respect to that. Baker Mayfield, I think he can catch and clip just because of what you gentlemen had spoken to earlier on what's going on with the Buccaneers offense. Even though we love Emeka Ibuka. Patrick Mahomes, we could have great run out for Patrick Mahomes. I'm going to call that a push. But then the rest above him are Allen, Jackson, Daniels, Hurts, and Burrow, as I spoke to. So I really see the path there for Drake Maye. And the price today, the haul is going up, and it's going to be even more expensive. So, yeah, I'm all about some Drake Maye jumping up here. And if you wait for it to happen, you'll be too late. You'll be looking backwards, and you'll be having to mortgage a second home to pry him off of all of your dynasty teams, anybody who's watching.
My pre-draft comp to him was Josh Allen with arm talent. Go ahead, Schultzy.
Yeah, I can't disagree or argue with anything you've said here. To me, I think the QB4 stuff, that's like a little strong for me. But hey, we're here for a flag plant, and you've been talking Drake Maye all off season, so I love it, man. I think QB 6 to 10 is a much more reasonable situation moving into 26 here. But yeah, you gotta love the rushing stuff here. You mentioned my guy Travion Henderson, and one thing I've talked a ton about is the passing game stuff with the McDaniels offense, and I think that's going to flow a lot through Henderson. But who's going to get those points too? Drake Maye. So yeah, man, I know they didn't go out and get a guy. I know they got Stephon Diggs, and it's not like the type of signing trade draft that maybe some people the really bona fide number one guy that some people wanted to get Drake Maye. But if Drake Maye is who we think he is or who we want him to be, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Watch him make Javon Baker relevant.
He just got cut today, by the way.
Baker?
That's how good he is. That's how good he'll be.
He just made him relevant on another team. He made him relevant on another team, whether it's in the CFL or not. He's
then if he just had Drake Maye thrown to him,
Yeah. Could be at a supermarket somewhere. You never know. We'll have to see. But okay, we're gonna power through one more flag plan from each of us. We won't do some comments, but let's get our viewers. We got about 10-15 minutes left of the show. Schultzy, let's get into one of your actual flag plans. Maybe a optimistic one, if you will.
Yeah, man, it's that Garrett Wilson's going to the moon, and it's time to jump on board if you haven't already bought a ticket. And I will go super fast since I took a long time on round one here. What has Garrett Wilson done for you? Well, he goes out and gets 150 targets. He's going to go catch 100 balls. He's going to go catch 1,000+ yards and passes, catch a handful of touchdowns, and he's done this all with pretty garbage quarterback play. All right, he's played with Zach Wilson. Last year, he finally got halfway decent quarterback play, and Aaron Rodgers was wide receiver 10. He now gets his old pal, Justin Fields, college quarterback from Ohio State. We're going to the moon. I don't think this is a permanent situation with Fields. Probably get someone better later, man. Fire it up with Garrett Wilson. Don't look back.
Well,
agree. Top 10 finish this year.
Chev, what do you think?
Well, are we doing comment? I don't know if we're.
You seem to disagree a little bit there. So, are you on the Garrett Wilson train?
Again, I love the volume play. I just don't know how much better it's going to be than it's been. I want to believe because I want to believe it. I can believe in Justin Fields as a singularity while not believing in their passing game options.
Yeah.
And I hope that I'm wrong, but it's just the way that it looked this preseason made me nervous as hell. I'm not going to lie to you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Justin Fields made DJ Moore wide receiver 6, and Garrett Wilson will have probably 30 or 40 more targets than Moore had that year. There's no competition in this offense except for Mason Taylor. So Garrett Wilson is the dude. Every single team in the NFL can have a, top 10 quarterback they can have top 10 guys in fantasy and be garbage teams. So I love Garrett Wilson too.
I'm kind of on the other train. I'm kind of like I'm tempering my expectations here for him because of what I saw, especially in the preseason here. But also, we're just I'm expecting his best season, but I still don't see him getting into some of that elite top 8 to even top 10 to at this stage. I with some of the things that I see right now out of some of these other guys ascending up the board.
I think his ceiling is probably 15 for me.
That's fair.
He's going at wide receiver 19. That's criminal for a guy with top 5 upside. It's stupid.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, I get that. But how many times has he actually finished top 5?
He was 10 last year.
Hey, here's my problem for the ADP thing, because when you're talking about how late Garrett Wilson goes, about 7-8 picks later, and it's been about around for the longest time, George Pickens goes as wide receiver 22. Pickens has just over 100 targets, an 1,100 yard receiving season, and he gets an improvement with Dak, a better passer, a better run out this year. I would argue that George Pickens is actually going to outproduce Garrett Wilson. Just in part of that based on in 2026, if we get, let's say, Nussmeier, Lenora Sellers, just name any of the top quarterbacks, we're talking about some different run out. But right now, it's just not even and fair what you have, even though he's wide receiver 2, Pickens, on a golden offense with Dak Prescott over Fields' connection to Wilson. So I would actually take the price cut. We're talking about a price cut on Wilson. I would take an even further price cut and venture to say rubber band back to pull forward that George Pickens will outproduce Garrett Wilson.
Was that combinatorial?
That was combinatorial in my head because I was like, how do I bring this home?
All right.
We got to clip this for fantasy receipts.
This is going to be
a banger.
Did I cook?
That was a banger.
I cooked.
Yeah, Chev and 11. Let's get your next guy here.
Jameson Williams. I'm not gonna waste you guys' time here. Listen, Jameson Williams just came off. This is the first time as a professional that he was a full-time player, and he was still only 38th in total routes run in 2024. That resulted in 14 points a game. He also led the league, tied for the league lead in 50 yard touchdowns and catches over 50 yards, and he was third in catches over 40 yards. The other guys in that same category, Brian Thomas, Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, all those guys are locked in for 120, 130 targets. The reason that I'm so bullish on Jameson Williams is because just expanding from 6 targets a game to 7 targets a game creates 120 targets for Jameson Williams. And if we get that, you're allowing probably this next generation's Tyreek Hill 120 opportunities in the most elite offense that we've seen out of, consistently, both run and pass efficiency wise. And I just have a firm belief that all of this signal that we've gotten from the Detroit Lions about how they want to utilize him more is something that we should be paying very close attention to. At worst, it's what happened last year, and he still only gets 90 or so targets. But that was sick. That was in 15 games. He was the wide receiver 22. I think we can get a 16 to 17 point, maybe even if we break lucky on long touchdowns and he spikes double-digit touchdowns somehow, we could be looking at a 70 for 1,212 type of season. And he's like, everything around him is elite. There's nothing, and he's shown you that when given opportunity, he is very explosive. That's just kind of his thing. So I'm all in on Jameson Williams. I'm buying the breakout. I think he's my wide receiver 20.
Right around there too. I love it. Biggs, what do you got?
Nico Collins Redux. May 3rd, I said, guys, I'm trading for rookie picks. Jaden Reed. Guys, I'm adding when I acquire picks. Jameson Williams.
Yeah, I think we're all the Jameson Williams seeing this. This is a big year for him. So yeah, Chev, good call on that. My next call, I'm going to talk about. I'm going to bring out Kenneth Walker because he hasn't been talked about enough. And the reason why I like him so much, and I see him finishing as a top 8 running back this year, is just elite missed tackles, forced rate at 0.42 in 2024. It was the highest in PFF history among running backs with 50 plus carries, better than peak Marshawn Lynch or Nick Chubb. That is an incredible stat. Zone scheme surge. So what's going to happen here? Well, Clint Kubiak is now in there, and Walker's averaged 1.2 more yards per carry in zone runs when that gap runs last season. So I'm looking at Kubiak, and his offense always ranked in the top 7 in zone run rate in all 4 of his prior stops. And last year, Kenneth Walker also showed his diverseness as a 2-minute weapon. He saw 0 third down targets in 2023, but he led all running backs in the 2-minute drill in receptions last year with 15, signaling that he can be a pass catching back, but also be effective in the 2-minute drill. Always a top 12 running back when healthy. And now he's got an improved supporting cast. They added a first-round guard in Greg Zabel, and left tackle Charles Cross took a major step forward last year. So a healthy, younger O-line means fewer disruptions, and that zone scheme is going to be big things for Kenneth Walker. And if he could stay healthy, which I think he will, I'm hoping he will, but we can't guarantee anything. Still top 8 running back 2025.
Gray Zabel is violent.
Mm-hmm.
Also, you mispronounced Travion Henderson.
Well, that was another one, but we didn't get to that one there, Biggs. All right. I think it's your turn, buddy.
Yeah. So over the years, I've come to realize that I'm somewhat of a college quarterback savant when it comes to making calls on who to target over the course of the summer. A couple of years ago, I said Zach Wilson wasn't it. Another couple of years ago, I said stay away from Will Levis. Last year, I was booking Jaden Daniels and Drake Maye. And this year, my guy was Jaxson Dart. And so you can go all the way back to our shows in January, late January, early February. And I was on the Jaxson Dart train as soon as I dug my peeps into all of the video that is available. And I've been super high on him, with him as the rookie quarterback 1 in this class. And my priors were confirmed over most of the preseason. It's not a matter of if he's going to take over the Giants offense, it's when. How long are they going to watch Russell Wilson before they give Jaxson Dart the nod? And he's going to immediately bring deep ball prowess, a really good RPO game, intermediate accuracy, and the rushing upside that comes with 500 rushing yards 3 seasons in a row in college football, which is a shorter season than in the NFL. So my flag has remained for the last 8 months in Jaxson Dart's chest, and it's not going anywhere.
Yeah, fair enough.
It seems like counterproductive. I'm going to be honest. Like, you want him to do well to, hey, I was right. I called that. But
it's not a
sounds like you're trying to murder him.
No, it's not pointy.
Keep him
not
above
going anywhere.
Above 6 feet above ground, right, Chev? Right? Any day above that, right?
I'm not going to be above that very much longer if we have to continue with this propaganda.
All right, Coach. Let's go.
Hey, so I've been real high on David Njoku all off season, but I can't get through an entirety of an off season without hyping up Tyler Warren. A big part of that is an Indianapolis Colts tight end, rookie phenom. He looks the part in college, and if you watch him, eye test can be lie test, but eye test can just tell you what is just straight up an alpha male football player, and he's just domineering on the football field. And I think what's going to happen with him, we're going to get the run out, Sam Laporta, Brock Bowers. We're going to get another rookie who's just perfect set the table at a 8, 9, 10th round ADP. It's soaring up a little bit, but you've been able to scaffold your entire teams and then go and get yourself some Tyler Warren. Tyler Warren, I think, is actually a sneaky bet to get some rush share inside the 5-yard line. Let's see if we get a copycat league and possible pay some carries inside, and all of a sudden you're getting an extra 2 or 3 touchdowns that you didn't bargain for from the tight end position in your tight end allotment for your fantasy football with Tyler Warren. You see the highlights on tape. Yes, we've gone through the Richardson versus Jones. For right now, it's Jones. It is what it is, and is what is happening. Tyler Warren connects very well with Daniel Jones, even if Jones just has to lob it in the vicinity, which is something that reminds us of Brock Bowers. So I don't think it's sacrilege to say the heights that Tyler Warren can reach, and you're just getting another little cheat code for me. I'm flag planting. Tyler Warren's going to ball out. I think he'll be a top 4 tight end because I've already said that David Njoku will be top 3, but you get my drift. You're not going to lose money with either of them. And honorable mention between Njoku and Tyler Warren. I got to go with Tyler Warren. And part of the truth serum that I'm finding is in my redraft leagues, I'm coming in away with Tyler Warren. I have 500 best ball drafts, and I have probably about 10 to 12% on Tyler Warren. But when I've had, I think, 5 redrafts, 3 so far, I got 2 left. God, we're almost done. In the 3, I've had Tyler Warren, and I felt amazing every single time. So I'm very high on him. So I just wanted to get a show in where I'm stressing the importance of how valuable he can be for your team. And the advantage that he provides in year 1 is you just set up, you can draft Jameson Williams, you can draft Chase Brown, these flag plant players. You have room to go and get Jaxson Dart. With all the run out, the beauty of every player that you have all talked about is you can fit Tyler Warren into those builds.
Love it. I love it. Way to go, guys. We did it under an hour, and we got two of our flag plants through. And if it weren't for Schultzy, we probably would have got 3 of them done in his controversy today. So we're excited to continue next week.
This guy stinks.
Exactly. Next week we'll be talking real football because football's going to be on, and it'll be the start of the season. We're excited to bring you all the great content here, and let's end the show here, bigz.
We hope you win. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to do a call to action and all that stuff. Hey, like and subscribe. Hit the bell on this show. Watch everything on the Undroppables and Fantasy Sports Advice Network. Go to the merch store. Get your Dynasty Pulse gear and look for upcoming stuff that's going to drop. Not to, tease much, but Wrecking Ball. And then use our code, which is
Pulse 15.
Pulse 15, or if you want to do Forecast 15, you can do that. Pulse 15 or Forecast 15 get you 15% off in the FSAN merch store. Yeah, we love you. We hope you win.
Hope you win, folks. We'll see you next week.